Hi guys, this is Miss Coin. In this video, I am going to teach you how to multiply by monomials. Okay, so we will be doing questions like that, and I will show you how do you multiply when you have only one term outside the bracket and there are two or more terms inside the bracket. Okay, so let's practice some examples here. Alright, so let's work on example number 1. This is the question we will be doing it right here. So before we do that, I'm going to show you the steps that you need to follow when you multiply one monomial by another. Okay, so step number 1, it says, first multiply their coefficients. What's a coefficient? Coefficient is a number that is in front of the variable. That is called the coefficient. So first multiply their coefficients, and then step number 2, then work with the variables. Those alphabets, those are your variables. Numeric values called the coefficient, the alphabets called the variable. Okay, so let's solve this question here, simplify this question. Okay. So we are going to multiply 3f squared with 5, then we're going to multiply. So I always recommend put the arrows. So the term that is outside, that belongs to every term inside the bracket. Okay. We'll follow the steps. First multiply their coefficients. So 3 times 5, what is that? 3 times 5 is 15. Then our steps, then work with the variables. Here we have f squared. We do not have any variable here, so this will remains as it is. Okay. Then we move on to the next one. There's a negative here, so we'll just bring that sign. And now we are on the second term. So we'll multiply 3f squared with 7f to the power 3. First multiply their coefficients. 3 times 7, what's that? 21. Then work with the variables. Here is f to the power 2. Here is f to the power 3. So I'll just do this question on a side. F to the power 2 multiplied by f to the power 3. The previous video I did 2 days ago, and that one I explained the 7 exponent law. So if you don't know how those exponent laws works out, so please go ahead and watch that video. So according to the exponent law, the product exponent law, when you have the same base, you keep the base as it is and then add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And let me also show you a long way too. And if I want to expand that one, this is going to be f times f. And here we have 3 f's here. F times f 3 times. How many f's we have all together? 5. So how do I write that in the exponent for? F to the power 5. But we have exponent laws that makes our life a bit easier to simplify the expressions. So practice with the exponent laws. Every time you have the same base, you keep the base as it is and add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so let's go back to our question. We are done with 3 times 7 is 21. So f to the power 2 times f to the power 3. This is going to be f to the power 5. So this is all we need to do for this question. And this is our answer. Every time you do math question, I prefer my students always put a little shape, circle their final answer. It's just easier for me to see it and easier for you to see as well. Okay, so always put, just highlight your answer at the very end. Alright guys, so let's do some examples here. We are going to solve different types of expressions here, simplify different types of expressions here. Okay, so here we have monomials, we're multiplying monomial with a monomial. That's also one term. Okay, based on the steps I showed it to you in the previous slide, we will multiply the coefficients with the coefficients. Okay, then we have a variable. There is x squared here. We'll multiply that with an x here. Then we have a y inside. There is no y outside, so this y will just remain as it is. Okay, so let's finish that. 3 times negative 5. That whole term is a negative. Okay, so this is going to be negative 15. X squared times x. 2x is here, there's a 1 here. What does the product rule says? When you have the same base, you keep the base as it is, you add the exponents. There's a 2 here and there's a 1. Normally when you have 1x, you don't put exponent on top of it, it's just 1. So this is going to be 3, and we don't have any y here, so there is y here. This y will stay as it is. So this is the answer for that question. Alright, so number 2, we have monomial, and then we have binomial here. So we will distribute negative 2y with every term inside. We have 2 terms here, term 1 and a term here. Okay, so let's put our arrows here. There are multiple ways to simplify these type of expressions. There is the box model, area model, and I will make a different video to show you how to simplify the expressions using the area model. Okay, so let's do this one. Okay, multiply the coefficients. So we'll deal with this one first. So negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. We have a y here, but we don't have a y here. And there is x to the power 3 here. Okay, so what we will do, just keep them as they are, but we always put them in the alphabet order. So x comes first, and then we'll write a y. We're done with that. Let's do the next one. So here we are multiplying negative 2y with y squared. Okay. Negative 2 times, there's a 1 here, so that will be negative 2. Y times y to the power 2, that will be y to the power 3. According to the product rule, when you have a same base, you keep the base as it is, add the exponents. There's 2 here, there's a 1 here, so 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, that's our answer for this question. Okay, number 3. Now we have 3 terms inside the bracket. Okay, so whatever is outside, that gets distributed to all the terms inside. So now we are going to draw 3 arrows here. Alright, so here we have 2 here. There's a 1. Nothing at the front, that means it's 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Or what you can try to do a little bit differently. So I'll put x y squared 3 times, because I have 3 terms inside. Then that xy squared will multiply with every term inside. So 2x, y, and negative 1. So let's multiply these 3. Okay. 2 times 1 is 2. X times x is x squared. There's a y squared, there's nothing here, so that y squared stays as it is. Next one, x times, there's no variable similar to that in the second term here, so it will stay x as it is. Y squared times y, that will be y to the power 3. That's xy squared times negative 1, so that will be negative xy squared. Okay. So we will just put everything together. Our final answer should look like this way. 2x squared y squared plus xy to the power 3 minus xy squared. That's our answer. Okay. So this is all for today. My recommendation is practice, practice, practice. There's no magic to learn a math. Math comes with the practice. That's how I think. I could be wrong, but I just believe that when you learn math, you learn better when you actually practice, practice, practice. Alright, so if you have any question, please put that in the comment section. If you have any concerns, please put that in the comment section. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.